How's it going, everybody? I am Donut, and we are reacting to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 17, Melinda. So, we're almost certainly getting into the Bahrain stuff this episode, or Bahrain episode, Bahrain stuff this episode. I don't have any other prediction besides that. I think it's pretty obvious. We gotta be. We've been bringing it up again recently, so, and this feels like the perfect time with all the powered people going on. This is going to help us get in May's mindset, so I don't know if we're going to start off with it, or if we'll go into it a bit later. Seems like S.H.I.E.L.D. style that we're going to start off with it, so let's jump in. If you want to get the full length for this, by the way, go check it out for $8 a month on the Patreon. You can get the next episode early as well for $4 a month. Go check that out. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start this off by just addressing, I haven't really responded to any comments in the past, couple reactions, because I've been waiting to just respond to them all in one video. So where do we start? I want to say that, do I think that Coulson, by his actions, does not deserve to be director? I think he's got a lot of problems, but that's not my main problem. His actions are completely irrelevant. The other S.H.I.E.L.D., do I agree with them? No, I think they're horrible. As I said, I think they're garbage, awful people. But ultimately, they're not the ones with alien blood in them. And ultimately, if you don't have a problem with Coulson having alien blood in them, then we're just never going to be able to understand each other. I was totally fine going along with it and saying, it's a show. I understand the meta. I know that Coulson is over his memories and all that. He's gotten better. He's not probably, I don't worry that he is a beacon for an alien race to come destroy humanity. I know that that's not the case because I am a viewer of this show. I am not worried about Coulson being evil. I am not worried about Coulson being the director. As a viewer of the show, I don't give a shit if Coulson is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. or not, because, in terms of dangerousness, because in a meta sense, I know that nothing is really happening with him. But it doesn't matter if I know that in a meta sense. That's not the point. The point is thinking of it from an in-universe perspective. And I would absolutely never let Coulson be director in-universe. Never in 1,000 years after this alien stuff. And I was willing to let it go, but if they're gonna bring it up in show, then I have to treat it realistically as well. They can't just treat it as a realistic thing in the show and then me just say, well, the show is wrong in treating it realistically. And if this was real life and there was a leader of the country or whatever, this is an organization, but it's also a worldwide organization, so it's pretty fucking huge. But, and they had alien blood. And first of all, I'm not saying that Coulson is an alien. I am saying that he is alien. There's a big world of difference between being an alien and being alien. But yeah, if the leader was alien, then I would absolutely be like, fuck no, can't be the leader. Absolutely not. I am perfectly, 100% okay with being bigoted against aliens. Totally, 100% fine with it. Absolutely A-okay. Don't find a problem with it. So, if you're not, then whatever. But I am 100% bigoted towards racists, or towards, I'm either 100% bigoted or 100% racist. It's weird to say racist because they're not a race. But, they are in the more literal, is an alien a species or is it a race? Whatever. It's weird. It is weird because this is in the Marvel Universe, and I know a little lore from the comics in terms of Earth being the center of the universe and stuff. So, that's why most of the alien races look humanoid and stuff like that. But still, that's, again, using meta-knowledge. Talking about this solely from an in-universe perspective. But yeah, so, ultimately, if you are fine with Coulson being alien, if you're fine with him having alien blood in him, which is what I mean when I say he is alien. I'm not saying he is an alien. If you're fine with that, then we're just never going to be able to see eye to eye. Because I would never be fine with that in real life. Ever. Fuck that. So, borderline. Coulson, as a person, I have a lot of problems with how he's going about things right now. I've had a lot of problems with how he's done things in the past. But ultimately, I like him as a person. It's getting more difficult because of what he's doing right now. It's getting difficult. But, when I talk about things like this, you have to keep in mind that I say this when I do it, but people still don't care that I am talking about this using no meta-knowledge. I am always trying to not talk about the stuff with meta-knowledge, because that's uninteresting to me. And yeah, the other S.H.I.E.L.D. can go fuck. I hate them too. They're garbage, but it's the only thing we have right now. You know, I don't see any other people who could be director. Again, I'm saying May, but I don't think the show is going to go down the direction. Which I guess is again saying my meta, using meta knowledge. So if I'm not using meta knowledge, then I will say I fully support May to be the director. I would probably say May, and I really don't trust anybody else. I would say just May. May alone. Maybe May and Simmons. Simmons, I do think she's old enough at this point to where on a board of directors, not a director by herself, certainly, but on a board of directors, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, May is the only one that I'm fully 100% on board being the director with. But yeah, I don't like the other S.H.I.E.L.D. They're just the lesser of two evils. And I'm not saying that Coulson's directives or what he does is bad as a director. It is solely the fact that he has alien stuff in him, and that cannot happen. It just can't. It cannot. So, back in 2X10 is when Coulson mentioned Theta Protocol to Koenig, saying, if things get really bad, then to activate Theta Protocol, which could be something to do with the Koenigs themselves. They could be trying. I know why Patton Oswalt is in the show. Thank you for the comment about his wife and all that. But yeah, they might be actually trying to make a storyline out of that. But it's something that's involving a lot of bunks. He was talking to Andrew. He's got Mike Peterson back in the mix now. I don't see how it's not a safe house for powered people. I cannot see what else it could possibly be. I know they're making it. I know it's purposely a red herring. I know it's purposely making it seem like that, but it's not going to be. But I can't see what else it could be. I don't know. Okay, so back in the afterlife. Again, since I haven't really replied to any comments, just a blanket, I haven't been replying to really any comments in the past couple of videos for S.H.I.E.L.D. Thank you for the comments about the reminding me of the afterlife thing that Cal said way back then. I was like, I was kind of like, Cal could be, he might not be evil way back when at 2X10, I think I said that. But then he said oh yeah, I want to be, or I think it was even before that, but he said I want to be reunited with my family in the afterlife, and I was like, might be even worse than we thought. He apparently wants to, do a murder-suicide with them all, but no, it wasn't what it was at all. He did want to be reunited with them in the afterlife here. But yeah, and the reason Gordon hates him so much, I asked the question an episode ago, and then we've got the explanation, but I never even really connected them. But yeah, because of the way that Cal got his powers and all that, he didn't. To be fair, so what? I don't know why Gordon is so. I guess because he is in Afterlife. It's not the fact that he has powers that Gordon is upset about. It's just the fact that he is in the Afterlife. I assume he wouldn't be mad that he has powers of some way. Maybe he would. Does he just hate anybody that has powers that isn't an inhuman? I know he specifically also hates Cal because of the afterlife thing. But if he hates Cal because he has powers, does he just hate anybody who has powers? I would assume he would only... it's... how am I trying to put this? It's interesting that he doesn't hate... Reyna, but he does hate Cal. because Cal is here when he shouldn't be here, and he has powers when he shouldn't have powers, and Reina is here, what she should be. I mean, there's no real reason where she shouldn't be here because she isn't human, so he'd see it in that light. But she did not go through the proper procedural in the worst way possible, even more so than, like, the mother and her daughter thing. So, like, why is he totally fine with her? She should also piss him off royally, right? Because of how against the way of life it is there, and it goes against their rules and everything. I don't get why they're all just so fine with Reina. Like, it's clearly, and by they, I do mean Gordon and Jiang and Lincoln. Like, everybody else, all the other Inhumans, as we know, would absolutely hate her and want her out of here, mainly because of, like, the way that she went through her powers and everything like that. But that is a stem of, you shouldn't be going through your powers that way, because that's the bad way, because people get hurt that way, because people die that way. And Jiang and Gordon and Lincoln are protecting her for some fucking reason. I mean, protecting her in the same way that they're protecting Sky, because, we're all one and the same. You're just a serial killer. Like, by the way, I did get a comment like that of someone that would be totally fine with their leader of their country telling them that they are the exact same as a serial killer, in the way that they mean you are both human. I would absolutely not be fine with that. Again, I cannot believe what people are willing to put up with. Want their leader to have alien DNA. They're fine with just being told they're the exact same as a serial killer. Jesus, I underestimate how much shit people are willing to put up with. And we found out what Reina's gift was. She can see visions of the future, which is super duper hype, because that means she's getting hunted. I'm so fucking happy. I cannot wait to see that. Shoot her down, kill her, put her in the ground. And speaking of which, you know what? Well, actually, no. I'll talk about that after the Bahrain stuff. The TLDR on what we should be doing with powered individuals again. I'm going to keep it super short. Very easy to understand. But yeah, once again, the whole... Jiang, hate her guts, but the whole Sky mental whiplash sort of thing, the emotional whiplash, I get it. It's a part of her character. I'm surprised by it every time it happens, but it is a part of her character. She's done it her search for her parents has been her entire life. It's been her whole reason for living for the most of her life. So even when she says, like, oh yeah, Cal's a murderer and I don't want anything to do with him, or something, then as soon as she sees him, she sort of, like, has this sort of, like, my heart, it's fluttering, she sort of Pavloved herself into longing for them. So it's the same thing with Jiang. She flips out on her, screams at her, runs away, and then sees her again, and she's like, but my heart, I can't, I Pavloved myself. And, both the parents aren't the greatest for her, but Cal is definitely way better for her than Jiang is. But at least, at least she has someone again. How long is this gonna last? Probably under 2 years, I would assume. Much shorter than 2 years. It's so hard because she's talking all this emotional stuff, and I'm really sad for her. But then she's telling it to this bitch of a woman. God, this fucking hypocritical piece of shit. So Cal stitched her back together, and then together they slaughtered the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. That means that at some point Cal had to have modified him. I'm not sure at what point that would have been. How long did Whitehall... I guess it could have been happening while Whitehall had her, and he kept trying to go to Whitehall to get her back. Something like that. But no, because S.H.I.E.L.D. released her. Well, I mean, I guess he just couldn't, That's what he meant by I was too weak. He went to try and go get his wife back. He couldn't, so he felt too weak. He went to go experiment on himself, made himself stronger. By that time, she was already thrown out. He pieced her together. They slaughtered the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that came to take their baby. At some point in their search, they split, which, I don't know when that could have been. Like, that had to have been around when Cal also stopped, right? Because, like, it was the initial S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in the village. Then it was a couple S.H.I.E.L.D. agents getting killed within the span of like a couple months, maybe at most. Because then she was still, as an extremely young baby, I wouldn't even probably say even a year or two old, put into the orphanage. From what we assume based off of her memories. So very young age, like 1 or 2, put into the orphanage and has gone through there since, and that's when Cal lost track of her. But I assume that's sort of like when they both lost track of her. They killed all the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, then Cal wanted to keep searching even though there was no trail, and she was like, whatever, I'm gonna give up, I'm gonna go fuck off and help some serial killers. And then Cal continues to search through what means I'm not really sure. We don't really know what happens after that, how he got on to, like, oh boy, I'm actually trying to remember when the hell was Sky's father first brought up as like, I mean, it was through Raina, right? But like, we don't know when he encountered Raina, but he encountered some other, inhuman girl, Raina, on Earth, who has been banished out for some reason. I mean, they all don't seem to be born in afterlife, so I mean, I guess that's not like who of them are not born in the afterlife? It seems to be just Sky and Raina, right? We don't know anybody else, so until proven otherwise, there might be a special reason why they weren't born there. So he uses Raina to get to Sky. Raina uses him to get her transformation. She gets what she wants. He doesn't get what he wants. She complains. And then he's just like, fuck off. And yeah, justifiably. So Cal tries to get Sky again. Jiang takes him away. Well, I'm saying Jiang, Gordon, but I assume Jiang told Gordon to do this. Takes him away right as he was about to get Sky. Then Sky gets fucking 75 hairline fractures in her arms, thrown in a laser-fenced cabin like a fucking mass murderer. And then Jiang tells Gordon to go ask her if she wants to come. Just ask her. Just ask her. Which, again, I said this was a really nice thing at the time, but I'm making a point here. Give me a second. Asks her to join. Then waited for her to get shot at. Then, when she asks, come, takes her. Hides her relation from her. After everything Sky went after everything Cal went through to bring Sky to Jiang, she says, "Oh yeah, you can see him once, and then you'll never have to see him again because he's a crazy fucking monster." And I'm not, though. I'm totally fine. And again, I know I'm probably gonna get a total lot of grief for this. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much people. I know people were actually surprised that I like Cal this much. But I'm not sure how light Cal is in general. I love Cal, and I do think that the show is making him out purposely to be not a bad guy. They could have easily made him kick the dog many, many times, and they have not. So it really feels like they're trying to make him a very, very human, very, very empathetic and sympathetic character, which he is in my book. And yeah, it's like, they didn't ask Raina if she wanted to come. They didn't ask Cal if he wanted. I mean, Cal's a different story because it was probably a prearranged thing. But they didn't ask Raina, so why'd you ask Sky? Why? Why do you have such preferential treatment? I don't know. Because you're a cunt, that's why. Because you're a fucking bitch. Jiang, you son of a bitch. Okay. So, Bahrain. Let's talk about Bahrain. Finally getting that Bahrain. First off, before we get into the nitty-gritty of it, great uses of misdirection, great uses of red herrings and twists and everything. Like, just from during the segment to the setup from Season 1 with our expectations for it and stuff. Just, perfect use of all that. And as always, I love the, laissez-faire, sort of like comedic buddy cop, what could go wrong, S.H.I.E.L.D. of the pre-2010s, or even like, the SSR stuff, but just everything pre-2010 S.H.I.E.L.D. is so laissez-faire. They just are so casual. They are not used to the crazy shit that went down. The universe was relatively normal until Phase 1. And even then, after Phase 1, it didn't get that much weirder. It was just Avengers where it got crazy weird. But yeah, I'm very happy that Andrew's gonna keep appearing, by the way. Super duper happy about that. Like, I loved his character in the last episode, so, yeah, I just cannot wait to get more of it. Cannot wait to get more of him and May together. Which, it does suck that, you know, I wish there could be something there, but... So yeah, it was an Inhuman. Was not expecting that, you know. I was expecting that this episode, just by the nature of how it was going together. Yeah, like, they were the child themselves. Like, the child that we knew was involved in the story was the actual empowered individual. Which, yeah, I can't believe after all this time I never even hazarded that guess that could be the case. Like, completely hook, line, and sinker bought into that. And yeah, it wasn't, you know, letting the girl go. It wasn't having to actually let her go. It wasn't having to, like, let her, you know, that she was getting caught up in this or whatever, that she was going to just be a casualty. But no, that she had to put her down. And yeah, I mean, ultimately it wasn't even a choice. She had to. More people were going to die if she didn't. It wasn't like a, you know, oh, there might be another way. Like, there was no. And it's not like a, oh, it sucks because she was powered, so I had to put her down. Like, even if she, I mean, like, well, I guess that's the case. I guess that is kind of, because ultimately you could still just throw the child in. I was going to say, you know, because clearly this child is still, like, even before the transformation, from what we know about Ji Yang, you know, she clearly seems to have still been a psychopathic, murderous child. So, ultimately, you shouldn't feel, I mean, it's the thing of, like, even if she's a psychopathic, murderous, awful child, you don't want to have to kill her, you know? The fact that she had these powers is why we had to kill her. And it was a very, like, fight for your life moment. The powers get a lot more different when it's a Sky situation where it's not a self-defense moment. When they're in a self-defense moment, it's hard to be like, you know, oh, well, they didn't have to kill them, because... Well, I mean, even if that was a little girl with a gun held to her, you know, to all these S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, then you would have to kill her. Like, what are you going to do? It doesn't really have to do with the powers, it has to do with the circumstance. But the fact is that the powers put you in the circumstance. But, yeah, I mean, it's a great parallel, but at the same time, it's very, like, a lot of the instances they bring up are just in self-defense. And, yeah, I can see why she regrets the divorce, though. Like, that she divorced Andrew and the way she went about it. Like, this was not the time to do it. This was not the reason to do it for. The kind of person he is could have been someone that you could have talked about this with. But she just pushed it all down, got off the field. And then Fury comes and he's like, hey, I want you back out in the field. I want you on Coulson's team. I want you to put together this team. And she's like, well, I guess I will. You know, like, Fury, after all that, I mean, maybe it was better for her. It is helping her get over this stuff, but at the same time, she has had to go through so much because of that, again, maybe it would have been better for her to stay off the field, and then maybe in time she could have gotten better and gotten back with Andrew, and things could have been different. But, you know, that's all woulda, coulda, shoulda. Who knows? Things are maybe better now. It's impossible to tell. So, my TLDR, too long, didn't read, of powered individuals, of indexed people. Here's how it is. It's plain and simple. It's very, very easy. So, innocent until proven guilty, safe until proven dangerous. That's really it. And now, break it down just by, if they are unpowered in every way, and I'm talking about everything from cyborgs, and Mike Peterson and John Garrett are a little bit different because they had juicy, serumy stuff inside them. I'm talking about solely cyborgs, nothing but a cyborg. You know, the suits, geniuses, fucking anything like that, people that are just strong and not superhumanly strong, but people that are just strong, like John Bruno, you know, people that are unpowered in every way, not S.H.I.E.L.D's domain. They're just not S.H.I.E.L.D's domain. Even the geniuses, they're not your domain. I'm sorry, but that's just not what... I don't think they should be. You know, that's what I'm saying here. Whether they are or not is not what I'm arguing. I'm saying that they shouldn't be. I'm saying they should not be S.H.I.E.L.D's domain. I don't want to. I understand that they are in their domain right now, but that's what I'm saying. And if they have murdered over 10 people, death is fine. Death is fine. Double digits, death is fine. So yeah, for unpowered, not S.H.I.E.L.D. domains, if it's over 10, death is fine. Otherwise, prison time. If they're dangerous, because again, prison time only if they're dangerous. Innocent until proven guilty. Safe until proven dangerous. The show, a lot of times, likes to say somebody's dangerous and show them being safe. Safe until proven dangerous. We have to see the dangerous. I'm not just going off the words, baby. You gotta show me. So, that's it. That's it. Once again, I don't like the new S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't hate Coulson as a person, but he cannot be director because he has alien blood. That's it.